ahead and straight talk about the new green set from here. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about from the booster box, and then we'll go straight to with the starter deck and the comparison. So we'll just talk about like each card and like what your thoughts of this card does, and then we'll go to the next one. If that's cool with you guys.
That's fine.
All right. Okay. Sure. Okay. So first one.
We're gonna go over every single card.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll highlight.
I think we're just gonna talk about the leaders now.
We can start with just the leaders, and then we'll just talk about like the most specific cards, which is mostly the super rares and rares, and then nothing else. And then we'll also make okay. So for the two leaders we're gonna have is the Son Goku and the Ginyu. So the first one is Son Goku. Two auto effects. Auto first is burst 3. When this card attacks, draw a card. Second auto is when one of your battle cards is KO'd, you may flip this card, draw thing. And its awaken is Ferocious Strike Super Saiyan Son Goku. Same auto effect with the burst 3. And it has an activating main/battle, which says once per turn, place 2 cards from your life into the drop area, choose all of your battle cards and your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place them into their owner's drop area.
I'm not particularly fond of this leader, for as far as the green player is concerned.
The only thing that I do like about these leaders is that they really push in the Unison, and they're really pushing monocolor. Like they can have the possibility of awakening turn 1. So in my mind, is telling me like, are they trying to like weed out Surge? Because these leaders get more benefits and they can awaken it just as early. So that's the only interesting thing I'm taking away from like Ginyu, Goku, Zamasu, and Vegito as well.
I mean, Surge doesn't have to run dual color energy. That's the thing. Like, multicolor decks don't have to run multicolor energy.
That's true.
And you can run the warp. So all of the warp lands from the new set you can run, or I would expect to be played a lot more than they are now in set 10, because it allows you to charge a monocolor on turn 1, a monocolor on turn 2, or whatever, and then by the time you want to charge a multi, you should be able to charge that in active mode, so you're able to stay on curve and up to like on pace with the monocolor decks. So multicolored isn't getting pushed out just yet, but they're clearly trying to just rotate out multicolor.
It feels that way.
Okay.
It really does.
Alright, so let's go to the next leader is Ginyu. Auto effect: when this card attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a green Ginyu Force card with an energy cost of 2, you may play, then draw 1 card. And this one is actually when your life is 4 or less, or if you have 4 or more Ginyu Force cards in play in your battle area, you may draw 2 cards and flip. So it does not have like the 2 untapped energies. And then its awakening is Ginyu, new leader of the Force, with a picture of Goku with the scatter, which is Ginyu. Auto effect: when this card attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a green Ginyu Force card with an energy cost of 2, you may play, draw a card, same thing. And activate battle: once per turn, with a cost of 1 green energy, choose 1 green Ginyu Force card in your battle area, and it gets 10,000 power for the battle.
Alright,
I like this
so
card.
I really love this leader.
I'm a fan.
It's not from like a competitive standpoint, because I don't know if it's gonna be like meta, but from like a fun standpoint, I love it. I can see like the only thing is that I don't like that the green Ginyu Force cards all have the unique what's it called, the unique like name, like they can only have 1 of them on the field. I don't like that. For that I prefer the older Ginyu stuff. But you can also, with this, I can't remember the name of the promo, there's a Ginyu Force card. It's a 1-drop, and not 1-drop, it's a 4 cost 1 energy thing that you put in your drop area. You search top 3 for a Ginyu Force card. If you get one, you play it. So like turn 1, you can essentially have like 2, maybe 3 Ginyu Force cards on the field. I really like it. It could be like a weird beatdown strategy. I think it should be like a mono, and not mono, it could be like green-red or green-yellow.
Yeah.
I agree. I never liked the idea, like when I remember when they did the swap Frieza thing in I think it was Clash. I didn't like how they had to restrict certain cards, like, oh, Ginyu Force sub is here and Frieza sub is here, but it's like restricted to like 1 red color. Like it's the same thing where like if you like with Broly BRs, like you can play this like Frieza army card, but it has to be a certain specific color. I never liked that stuff because it just takes the fun out of the ideas of these decks when they get this new support. it's really restricting. That's one of the things I never liked about it. It's really one of the hardest things of being a Frieza army fan, is you're very restricted of actually creating a bigger and better Frieza army from different colors. They just restrict you just to play the one certain monocolor or the certain type of deck that you're trying to play it. It's really difficult.
Yeah, they really do that, and it kind of sucks because, let's be honest, there's a lot of creativity behind that you can put like into the Frieza's army decks. I think they're in every color except for black, if I'm not mistaken.
Only one Frieza army card is black, and that's the Zeno Frieza, the original. And honestly, I hated that card because it has to require you to play it with the overrun, but then it costs 6 energies, and it's fucking ridiculous. And
I mean, it could have been playable this set had they not worded a card to say green Frieza.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it could have been playable, which would have been great, but it's not gonna be played.
It's not worth
unless like you can get 6 energy with this mierda.
It's real.
But what's it called? Like, they really restrict you. Like the red Ginyu Force. I really like the Ginyu Force. I'm gonna be honest. I love the Ginyu Force.
Agreed.
And their decks are always fun. It's always like you can always swarm the field with Ginyu Force, and that's what I love about it. But the thing is, like with red Ginyu Force, if all of your battle cards are red Ginyu, you could play whatever for free. Yellow, basically the same thing, except yellow Ginyu Force was like just Ginyu Force, which I loved. I don't think they future-proofed them, which was great.
Yeah, that's...
Now green, they're all unique, which I hate that I hate the unique name. I hate that you can only have one of the card, especially for Ginyu Force. There's always been a swarm strategy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with this set, like it's basically like they're bringing back some other set, but what's different about what makes it like not as popular as what blue is the whole restriction thing. Like I said, and like the like set 1, like it was because it was obviously set 1 was the beginning, which is a different story, but still, people wanted to try something new and they wanted to combine these decks. But it's like now you can't let us do any of it. It's just ridiculous. Now we can only play one color. And I would love to see the green cards and the red cards, especially that red Ginyu where you get to switch with your opponent's cards, which we also have another one here. And then I love that because I like to mess around with my opponent's battle cards. I get their toughest battle cards and I can play it against them. I like that idea. That's what Ginyu should have been, instead of you have to be restricted. I mean, if Frieza was going to get restricted, that's one thing, but Ginyus, come on, they have to stick together. That's the idea of their thing. They're a team. They should be all together, and they should have all the colors, like a big build-up. Like if we get blue, this should be the next thing, because we do have like 5 different colored characters, and they have like their own specialty. And then it's like we should have all the 5 colors of the game, and then put them all with the Ginyus, and just have a blast. And instead, they're just gonna restrict you, and they just kill the buzz out of everything.
I mean, that's part of it. We're looking at the green cards, and like, to be honest, like the green cards are not as impactful as like the blue ones. And I mean, I do like that that new negate that we got that acts like Shocking Death Ball and Nimbus. It doesn't negate, but you know, it's powerful after effect. So I like that, but like, outside of that card, I'm just like looking. There's very few green cards. I was like, oh, this is neat.
There are some cards I'm relatively fond of, like that 1-drop Zarbon from the starter deck. I think is like a 4 of in the green Frieza leader deck.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
What is this again? I forgot.
Well, we'll actually get to that point. So we'll get to there soon. So we don't have to get ahead of ourselves. But yeah,
honestly though, I'm still gonna build the gaming deck. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna test it out.
Okay.
And I'll probably post like something about it.
Okay, so the next.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, sorry. So our next one is going to be the first Unison, which is the Super Saiyan Bardic Paternal Unison, which a lot of people I know are going to be playing. And I mentioned this earlier that, you know, since Unisons don't have that restriction, and with the Frieza leader, which I'm going to get to, does have that certain restriction, you can actually play this in the deck, and it's a really good card. So auto effect: when your opponent combos, you may place up to 1 card from their combo area in its owner's drop area, and if you do, negate the skill for the turn. First mark +1, activate main, you may choose one of your green battle cards with an energy cost of 1 and KO it. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. Second mark -3, activate main, this card gets 5000 power and triple attack for the turn. I do like the idea that the first mark has like a similar effect, like the Super Saiyan Bardic promo that came out like a few years, like a few sets back ago. That's not really playable, but it's a little similar to it.
I mean, I like the fact that Frieza could turn this Bardock into a triple attacker that has critical. That's neat, and I like it for the Frieza deck if you're just going like a hand destruction route. So, because it sacks the leader sacks a Frieza clan or Frieza army, and then the Bardock sacks a 1-drop, and there's a lot of 1-drops that you could sack in the deck too. So it's pretty neat.
There's not that many good green 1-drops in the game. That's like synergizes very well with Bardock.
No.
I mean, we could have like the original Krillin, which I've seen people talking about, the original 1-drop Krillin from set 1.
Yeah, but that's for the Goku deck more so.
I know,
like,
but still, you can still kind of use it.
No, like no, not for that. Like I was thinking more like you know the Dodoria that's a double striker, you know, the Frieza, the Frieza 1-drop that you take a life when you summon it, like, you know, more impactful things. So it synergizes with the leader. So when you sack it, like you could sack it with the Bardock as well, or you could sack it with the leader, like getting like more versatility out of the cards you're playing.
Yeah, that's true. Never mind. Pretend I said nothing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You know, like I get what Sandy's saying though. Like, you know, like there's not that many 1-drops or like that many like for green at least to like make it a consistent powerful thing. I think that's what he's
I mean, like when I saw this card, I knew they were going to release some sort of 1-drop that synergizes very well with it. The annoying thing is that they've made that card the super combo. So if you want to gain like ridiculous amount of value out of Bardock's effect, the super combo is very bad. I mean, the fact that they've stuck it onto a super combo is very bad because you now aren't particularly playing like the super combo. Like, it's got versatility, but I don't like the idea of playing a super combo and then relying on it to remain on board to combo off. I'd rather just play Android 18 as a hand control player.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, well, the Frieza can't play the Vegeta. It's a Saiyan, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, let's.
I mean, a big staple in some of these decks is going to be hasty dispatch.
Oh yeah, I'm playing that in my Frieza deck. It's so good.
That's gonna be a really solid card.
Yeah, you gave a good point earlier about that. The super combo Vegeta is pretty bad because of that play thing, and obviously people mostly, besides the Frieza card, you obviously do want to main the Paragus, or you can go ahead and play the Android 18, and it helps you a lot better.
Frieza, you play Android 18.
18, yeah, and the Zarbon one because it's a Frieza army, because you know whatever, but yeah.
I mean, that's if you want to drop, but like.
I mean, no, you don't play Zarbon. Like you either play Paragus, you play Vegeta, or you play Android 18. Paragus is like
I think
super combo.
Well, yeah, but
it is, but
but not for the Frieza leader. You can't play the Saiyan cards.
The other two are Saiyans.
Yeah.
Oh, are they Saiyans?
Yeah, they're Saiyans.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, you can't play them.
Yeah.
Even
I forgot to put that on there.
Yeah.
So you can't even run that super combo, so that's trash.
No, that's the sad part.
To play 18 or Zarbon.
Exactly.
You play 18 then, 100%.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it 18 only exclusive to Android?
No, I read the card. It's perfect for every green blue deck.
Super combo.
It's a super combo.
Yeah.
So let's go to. So here's our next Unison. Golden Frieza, Unison of Malice. First mark, +1, activate main, draw a card, then choose one card in your hand, place it at the top of your deck, and this card gains crit for the turn. Second mark, -2, activate main. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent can attack with battle cards unless they choose one of their battle cards with an energy cost of 2 or more and place it in its owner's drop area.
I mean, they get, besides the extra card negate, they gave green another kind of like defensive tool to help them withstand, I guess, an aggro deck is what I'm assuming. With this card, like, it's really good. I haven't played with it yet, but like, it seems like on paper it seems really good.
I like it. I mean, it has crit. Any card that has crit is good.
I really like this. I really love this card. It's really resourceful for like not just Frieza.
I don't know how nuts it is, because like I prefer I think I prefer the Bardock because the Bardock gets hand neg and can swing it board, whereas Frieza is required to swing face to neg hand. So I'm not sold on Frieza. I don't think it's like nuts.
I mean, like the coolest play, at least in my version of the deck, is like turn 4, and this is like if you have the Bardock Unison, you go and let's say you just don't have a board, right? You go disco into 1-drop, and then you pay for Maiden Transformation for the 2 maidens that make you discard 2. So that's 4. You if you swing leader and sack the 1-drop that's potentially like a Frieza's army, that's 5. The
It sounds like you're not playing against Topo or an opponent that is interacting with you.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, at its most optimal thing, right? Like,
Sure.
you could potentially get like 7-8 cards, and it's cute. But like, you're right. Like, if they disrupt you or something happens, like, you know, that's like at least what I found, that could be like the most optimal turn that it could possess. So yeah.
Also,
it seems.
No, sorry. Go ahead, Gio.
So like, this what they disrupt you. It seems like it could be like lackluster at that point, right? Like if they don't counterplay you, or if they don't do a particular thing where you could resolve all these effects. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like.
I was gonna say, sorry about that, Joe. I was always gonna say, like, for Alex, for you, it's actually a good idea because it seems a little weird that you would do want to send a top card to get the crit, but it's like whatever because you mostly draw. But it's actually really good for your Ginyu since they do have that Ginyu leader doing that search effect, and they have like most of the other Ginyus just do the top 5 searches. It's really good, so that you can do the plays and stuff. So you're actually not you're not negging, you're actually adding, and it's really really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Ginyu leader is actually pretty good, but I don't know.
You don't know how effective?
Like, it'll be like janky good because the leader's a +2, right? Like I didn't really get to talk about the leader. The leader's like a +2 on both sides, and then arguably a +3, and like a mana sink to protect your Ginyu guys on the backside. So it's, as a leader, I like it. The fact that they've put Unique onto the Ginyu Force means they're trying to limit it from being too spammy, because if they didn't put Unique on it, that deck would be insane. But yeah.
Okay. We have...
I don't know. I still think that if you splash in yellow Ginyu, you'll still be fine. I'm gonna be honest, yellow Ginyu could probably add a lot to the deck.
True.
Sure, like, you're probably gonna get value out of running like other colors or something like that, or other options. You definitely won't just play what's in the set.
The other option would be red Ginyu, and red Ginyu, I'm gonna be honest, is really bad when you're playing the other colored Ginyus.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably gonna be like a green-yellow deck. That makes the most sense.
Yeah,
I think both Frieza's army decks are gonna be green-yellow.
It mostly is. Okay, so
I can see that one.
so our last unison here for the set is Demigod Unison of Sorcery. Permanent, if this card would lose a marker from an opponent's attack, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand instead. First marker +1, activate main, this card gets 10,000 power for the turn. Second mark, -3, activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it.
This card.
I mean, the Demigod is like, the only plus side that I've seen is it makes that Frieza SR be playable from turn 1, potentially. I think. So, like, yeah.
I just don't think it's good at all. I'm also seeing the Mikra in any color that's not black just feels weird.
It's the same thing. Yeah, the same thing with the Supreme Kai at time, that she's blue but not black. It is kind of weird because I think that's what they're gonna do with the other colors besides black.
I mean, I don't mind seeing the Supreme Kai as blue, because like, sure, but like the thing is that the gods have like tons of colors to them. Like we have green beers, we have I think a red beers, we have blue beers. I don't think we have yellow beers.
I mean red beers with that Gotenks Unison could be interesting.
No, we do have a yellow beer. He's a super combo.
Have we talked about how none of these Unison cards have combo power?
Yes, they have no combo power. They're basically like an extra card in the deck.
They're a literal brick. So I have a feeling aggro will be quite strong against these control strategies.
I mean, remember, they're about to put 60 cards as the new maximum for this set, so...
I mean, I guess that's why they did it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we're gonna remember,
I guess...
when set 10 was released, they're now gonna do a minimum of 50 to a maximum of 60 cards in the main deck.
Sure.
Oh no, but it's not like, you can't do like...
Where's the relevance? Where's the relevance with the Unison cards having no combo power?
Yeah, like, yeah. But the thing also is that, like, even with Yu-Gi-Oh, you have the option, like, of having more than 40 cards, but people still run as close to 40 as possible, so that way their decks are more consistent.
I mean, it's gonna be the same way here. I don't see
exactly. I don't think any meta is gonna be like 60 card decks unless we have something that's like super surge, super like draw power. Unless you're playing like Janemba, where you like if Janemba comes back.
Setsu's a monster gets a buff from having a 60 card deck, but that's about the only deck it does.
Burst leaders.
Oh yeah, burst leaders, overrun.
To a point, I guess. It depends.
Janemba's big weakness, like if he comes back, which he's come back twice already, would be like, oh, you sided in 10 extra cards from your side deck. Now you have 60 cards to survive an extra 2 turns, 3 turns.
Janemba's real bad. Janemba's real bad. Like I've played Super 17 against it because I'm playing like Super 17 and Cell Surge, or at least I was playing those, and I would just slaughter Janemba. I didn't care about my burst.
Okay.
I think a lot of the burst leaders that will be burst are going to be hand control or like black, so I don't think either of those really care.
That and Boo U3, the deck that you've helped revolutionize, really just pounds Janemba too, so I can't really see.
Yeah, I think Janemba might not come back anymore, but I was using it as an example, as like the only way that most people would probably play like 60 rather than 50.
Sure, for sure, yeah.
I mean, if you play, I feel like they're gonna play 51 or 52 cards, just like, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh does like 42, 43.
I mean, but isn't it that it's only that you can only do 50 or 60? That's how I read it.
No, it's anywhere in between.
Anywhere in between.
Okay.
So
you're gonna have to count out your side deck in between every single round now. For tournaments.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Anyway, Demigra Unison sucks. Continue.
Yes. Probably the worst out of the set so far.
Okay.
No.
Well,
title goes to the
well, guys, we've yet to see. We've seen it so far. Right now, it has a title, but it's not there yet. We'll get to it maybe next week or when the whole set's revealed. So let's move on. I'm just gonna focus on the super rares right now. Then we'll go straight to the starters because I don't want to like stay too long for the podcast. So next one, this is the reveals. It's one of the 2 cards. It's Frieza, Charismatic Villain. It's the 5-drop Frieza. So it has a counterplay. You can activate the counterplay skills of other cards for the turn. Play this card from your hand. Permanent, when you have a green Unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less and KO it. Fucking love this card. That's all I'm gonna say.
This card is considerably worse than Trunks.
Yeah,
I think the card is great.
This card is considerably worse than Trunks.
Yeah, like I was just saying, like the Demigra Unison makes this card active turn 1, but like, how many times are you even gonna use this card?
Bro, I really like the card. I don't know. I think it's like a good like disruption, especially if they come out with a good
interactive rule.
I mean, for me, it's a little confusing when it says counterplay, can activate counterplay skills. It's a little confusing when you read that part sometimes.
Well, I mean, it's just saying that.
It means you can't use other counters for the turn, right?
Yeah.
He uses the counters like as a counterplay. It's the last counterplay for the turn.
Yeah.
So the only thing this gets from the counterplay is just playing the card. Then the auto, which will be done in your opponent's turn, can then be stopped. It doesn't hit literally anything without deflect. It just hits up to 7 costs. It can be interacted with because it is an auto, which disrupts your opponent playing. This card is considerably worse than Trunks.
Yeah, Trunks is insane compared to this.
I guess I can understand your
and
point.
It's a 10k as well, so it's not like you're creating anything valuable either.
That's true. It also kind of kills the point that it's a 5-drop with a fucking first stage Frieza, which makes no fucking sense. I don't know why a 5-drop, so... I
I
mean,
don't know.
I think every super rare is gonna get every color is gonna get a 5-drop super rare counterplay.
no.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be great for successor though. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
That's fine, but successor is dual color, right?
Yeah, it's dual color.
What? Wait, what happened? Sorry.
Successor
it's
is dual color.
I
Yeah.
think this is fine. Like a free 5-drop early on is good for successor, and that is a good point. But I don't think this card is like great.
I mean, I was gonna make the same point, but it's like, yeah, I agree with this, Andy. Like,
I think maybe you
if
do.
it hit barrier cards, I
Then-
would be on board.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
true.
yeah,
I could play like
That
a.
would put it.
Yeah, I would play like about
Like,
3,
this
but
could-
this card is more like you play at least maybe a 2 or something if you want to play it.
I mean, it ignores deflect, which is sure that's good as compared to Trunks, but it only hits 7 or less. Like Royal Condemnation only hits 8 or less, and it misses some very key cards that kill Invoker. So
speaking of
I'm just not
Invokers,
sold on this
Andy.
card being very good.
Speaking of Invokers, Andy, how what do you think of that deck going into set 10? I know you were playing that.
Depends on the aggro. Depends on
Okay.
like removal. Personally, it could be fine against Zamasu, but I don't know. I don't know yet.
Alright.
It's one of those things. It just depends on the aggro deck of the format, and then it should be able to adjust from there on.
Well, speaking of aggro, what do you think of the Green's version of their Flying Nimbus with Shocking Death Pulse, Andy? Speaking of that.
I'm glad you asked because I already gotten to the point. So, Dormant Potential Unleashed. Counterattack, if your leader card is mono green, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total of energy costs of 2 or less and KO them. Additionally, you may choose 1 green card in your hand and discard it. If you do, your opponent can only attack once more this turn. Permanent, if you have a green Unison card in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy costs. Sandy?
So I like the card. The only thing is, I think they missed a mark by making it a counter play when it could have been like maybe a counter attack rather than it could be like a counter play. So I think it might have a lot.
I mean, if this card was a counterplay, I think this is kind of ridiculous at that point. Like, I'm
This
fine
would
with.
not-
I
This is
mean, I
fine
would love
against
it.
Obuni.
It's great though.
Like, this isn't okay. This is like, I don't know how good of a card this is. Like, I'm always notorious, like, with reading cards and then thinking they're bad or thinking they're good when they're not. Like, Surge Q, when Surge Q was announced, I was like, this leader's trash, it's never gonna see play. I was very wrong. So I'm not, I don't know. Yeah, for real. I mean, like, it didn't plus Unawakened, and, I mean, it didn't plus Awakened, and we were in a meta where being Awakened was, like, super important, so.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I see where you're pointing. Like, okay, why? Yeah, never mind.
And then, like, that leader technically isn't as good without the cards. He didn't have all of the card pool at the time, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Technically.
I think this card.
But anyway, like, I think this card is. Sorry, Gio. I think this card's fine. But at the same time, I don't. It's not a negate. It does stop. It is like it is a Nimbus, and it does hit leaders, which is big because this hits Gohan.
Yeah. I mean, Gohan could also use it too, which is ironic, right? Speaking of, but
Sure, but Gohan has arguably never had a negate like this that can deal with it. So that's relative. That's pretty good.
It's gonna. I could basically
you can
fuck Gohan.
get rid of tokens and remove weenies from board, which is pretty good as well. So this will hit Obuni nicely, but how many you would run in the deck, if you run any in the deck or the sideboard, is I don't know.
I think it'd be
ask
two sideboard.
So
I was gonna ask you, Sandy. I really think this card is like I think it's really good against the deck you've made though. Like if they get it off.
Which deck?
The Boo U3 deck. Like if they.
But if you have a green Unison card in play, you can enter this card's kind of. Sure, but like that's also a sideboard card as well. That's like Protector of the People and Nimbus are excellent against Boo U3, but you don't see many people maining them because it's a single matchup, right?
No, that's true too.
Okay. I actually do want to ask a question. Oh, sorry, Gio, go ahead.
I was gonna be like, well, it's gonna lead to our preceding topics, like the ban list or ban or errata or whatever limitations. It's
Can we
like
talk about starter deck stuff first?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like my mindset is like, I see a card like this and it limits aggro. It's like, well, how many aggro decks are gonna let in the format? But yeah, we'll do that after
We could like
starter deck stuff.
Yeah, like we could do that as the last thing since we're already over time. But since the first episode, we'll just have fun with it, and then next week we'll just do limit stuff because we're trying to catch up from like last week's episode.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say before I was about to do the structure, like in your personal cost for each of you, how much value do you think the negate is gonna be worth for? Well, so-called negate.
Wait, like, what are you asking? How much it's gonna cost?
Like, how much you're gonna cost for right now before it ever gets buyout or anything, or after, and like how much is gonna be worth after when the set is released? In your
We
personal.
have
Like the
absolutely zero
green
understanding of
negate.
that.
I'm sorry.
This green negate, like our price speculation.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Let me hear like a price. Like how much do you think it's gonna be worth so far? In your point of
Like
view.
I'm gonna be honest, I would have spent more than like $15 on it.
I wouldn't spend more than 10.
Yeah, like unless they show us an SPR version, I think it's gonna be at most 15. If there's an SPR, it's gonna be like 10.
It entirely depends on reveals from the next set, how the meta unfolds, and so forth. We have notoriously bad SRs in the past.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how much I would pay for it. If it ends up being like an absolutely nuts card, you'd pay more for it. So it just depends.
I agree.
I'll just go
I
with
agree
it.
with that.
That's true. I'll just say $8 and let's move on. Okay.
Deal. $8 it is.
All right.
$8.
So what we're gonna be saying, we're just gonna talk about the leader, the Unison card, and I want to talk about that Zarbon card earlier. So the leader card is Frieza. Permanent. You can't include Saiyan cards in your deck. Auto choose.
Trash.
That's the only thing that kind of kills this deck card. Not like.
Yeah.
So.
It takes 5 cards immediately away.
No Paragus, no Vegeta, nothing. Frieza's fucking
No,
racist.
Vegeta's a cruel.
Frieza's.
No draw to ape.
Why
Frieza.
would you run Vegeta the Core where you're not running dual color, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like it just takes away. I mean, what if somebody did, right?
Look, let's all agree.
Yeah.
Frieza's racist to Saiyans, and that's it. Let's move on. So, auto effect. Auto effect, choose one Frieza army card in your battle area and place it in the owner's drop area. When this card attacks the leader card, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. Then add up to one card from your life to your hand. When your life is 4 or less, draw one card in such an energy. Awakens to Last Resort Frieza. Auto effect, when it attacks or draws. Activate main once per turn. Choose one Frieza army card in your battle area, place it into the owner's drop area. Choose one card in your opponent's hand, discard it. Then choose up to one of your green Unison cards, and it gains critical for the turn.
I think it's the best of the green leaders.
It is.
I am not fond of this leader, but if I was going to play in set 10, this is one of the leaders I gravitate towards because I like it. It's a hand control deck. There's a lot of things wrong with it. Firstly, in order to plus, you need to be using energy to play battle cards, which can be interacted with. It needs to swing at a leader, and it like kind of pluses off his life as well. It's not huge. And then for like a hand control deck, the backside is like you just draw one card, and like when it swings, you draw a card. So you need to swing. So if you have to swing somewhere and you don't have a battle card on board to swing at, you have to swing fakes, which feeds them a card. So there's a hand control deck that's not excellent. And then you just get to give a card crit, which is okay. But I think overall the leaders are relatively lackluster. I think it has good synergies with cards that would go into decks like Lemon Lime Frieza and Frieza's army cards. So you would probably run green yellow.
I completely forgot Lemon Lime Frieza was a thing. Jesus.
Yeah, so you would probably run green yellow for like Frieza's army or like Frieza's call. that 2-drop Malicious Frieza, so you can pop it with your leader effect and still have a 1-drop on board or something like that, or another Frieza on board, so then you can pop it with Bardock. So there's solid synergies within the deck, but I think the leader overall is relatively lackluster. But that's just me. But it is the deck I would play if I was gonna play in the next set.
I'll still play it anyway because it's Frieza Army, and I'm not gonna diss it. If it didn't, I mean, besides that restriction, I still like it, and it is really good since you could use this with the Bardic Unison with the triple attack crit, and it gets the +5, and it's pretty good.
Yeah,
and I do agree.
There.
And I do agree that yes, because green doesn't have that energy thing, but you have to add more energies to everything. Sometimes there's always a lot of restrictions with most decks because most of them are not blue, most of them are not like those fucking Sensu B bullshit. But if you learn around it, maybe you'll find a solution to work how to work the deck around and see how far you can go with.
All I know is if I was to play it, I get to play my Soif de Sanglais Sale, which is French for Cold Bloodlust because I'm allowed to play French cards. So I play my one of French Judge Cold Bloodlust.
Those French cards look so good too.
Yep.
They're alright. I just love that card with all my heart. So I got it in French Judge so I could play it if I ever played it again.
Exactly.
Oh wow, that's neat.
All right.
That's neat.
All right. So the next one
Are we allowed to play French cards here in the US?
No.
Nope.
No.
Just Europe.
Damn.
You cannot play.
This is not Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you play German cards. I know. We all want to fucking just go straight up playing German cards.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, anyway, come on.
So our next card next is the Unison card from the starter deck. Frieza, Zeno, Darkness Overflowing. Permanent, if this card would lose a marker from an opponent's attack, you may place one card from your life in your drop area instead. First marker, +1, activate main, choose one card in your hand and discard it to draw a card. Neg1 and activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and KO it, or choose up to one of their Unison cards and remove a marker from it.
I mean, this Unison's really good with the Dodoria loop. You could just keep reoccurring that specific Dodoria 1-drop that says if you send it, you could add it back.
I like that Dodoria.
Yeah.
It makes that a plus, and you can cycle through your deck, which is nice.
Yeah,
and you get to put things like Ribrian or Dispo into your drop area, so that's good as well without having to combo it, which is very important because I don't know at the moment if the leader has any ways other than this to just play discard cards.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really neat combo, and if
I don't like the permanent though.
The permanent, yeah. All right. There's only the 5 cards. Do you want to mention about the Ginyu, or just skip the Ginyu?
Let me just.
We could skip the Ginyu, I think.
Okay, so
I
what?
don't think the Ginyu is very good.
All right.
Yeah, we could skip that because
It is good for the Ginyu leader, but that's about it.
So
It works there.
Because it doesn't have unique.
all right, let's talk about Zarba and Dodoria. So Zarba and Frieza's right-hand man is auto effect. When this card is played, look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 1 green Unison card with a specified cost of 2, or 1 green Frieza Armies card with an energy cost of 4 or less among them to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Activate battle with 1 green energy. If your leader card is green Frieza card, you have a green Unison card in play, and you send this card from your drop area to your warp. Choose one of your leader cards or Unison cards, and it gets 10,000 power for the battle.
This is a good card. I think it'll be a 4 in this deck.
Yep,
It's
I agree.
mainly a 4.
Without a doubt.
Because it replaces itself. It's got synergy with the leader and Bardock, and then it has an activate battle speed drop area effect, so you don't have to waste your hand because Frieza will be working on a very limited hand size. So this card's very good.
Okay, and then the Dodoria, Frieza's devoted servant. That kind of shows how much Zarman's much of a bitch in this. Yeah, because you're just because he's his right hand man, but he's more devoted than him. It's oh come on, he's the first to get killed by Vegeta. All right, so
Yo, give him some slack.
I know. Alright, his auto effect is if your leader card is a green Frieza card and you have a green Unison card in play, if this card is placed in your drop area from your hand by a skill, you may play this card from your drop area. Activate main with 1 green energy. If your leader card is a green Frieza card and you have a green Unison card in play, add this card from your drop area to the hand.
This is alright. It's not stellar. It's just a way of the deck to plus, so it totally comes down to it's actually a solid plus. Like, it's fine. It has synergy. It, like, all of the starter cards except for Ginyu seem to synergize very well, which I like, but I'm not too sure how nuts of a card this is, because it doesn't really do a ridiculous amount.
Out of the tutorials, which one do you like? This one, the one that does double strike, or the one that has like a counterplay or something?
I definitely do not like the one that does double strike to go player. Grind out my opponents, so
I mean,
double strike is not fun.
I mean, it'll be good in the deck just like if you want to swing at Unison.
And then where's that counterplay to door? I'm just gonna look at.
Okay.
There it is. I remember reading it and not liking it.
Okay.
Your leader card is green, you have a green unit card, the battle card being played has an energy cost of 2 or less, place in its drop area and play this card. Yeah, it's not a good card.
Okay.
It's 1 mana, your leader card needs to be mono green, you need to have a green Unison card in play, and then you play a little 5k for your opponent to stop your opponent playing it to drop, so
again, fuck restriction, let us play. So yeah, so basically, fuck restrictions, let us play.
To a point.
Yeah.
A 1-drop 5k is still not.
Okay, so that's pretty much, let's go to the ending of the video. So let's just finish this up with the official ban list and stuff. So how do you want to start this ban list? Like, what cards should be banned upcoming soon and limited? Because let's also add limited, semi-limited, because, excuse me for that, we just need to make sure that people understand that this list, that limitations is also a thing, and we can't just have like just 2 cards limited in the entire game. We got to be fair, because we can't just kill 1 card because people are complaining. We could just restrict it down, see how far it goes, and if it's still bad, yeah, we'll go ahead and ban it. But that's the reason why we call it banned and limited list.
Well, what I had mentioned.
I want to start us off with fair list.
Well, I mean, that's what I was gonna say.
That's pretty much
not banned completely, but like limited.
It'll be limited to 1 hit.
Yeah.
Limited to 1.
I reckon it would just get banned.
I don't want it eroded to once per turn. Like, I just rather have it banned at that point. Like, if it's
erratas are unhealthy for the game. I'm gonna be honest about that. Like, imagine teaching a new player and they're like, "Oh wait, what do you mean? It doesn't say it here."
That's what kind of killed Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time when they did a lot of too much erratas. It's what kind of killed it. And then doing erratas for the first time before the ban list was ever made for this game was not a good idea. So I
think that they should just, what's it called? Like, if they do ban it and they were planning to errata it, they should just make a brand new card with a similar effect, just with the errated version.
That would be good. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I think a lot of people would want an errata set. They would really enjoy that.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be.
It'd have to be dirt cheap though, because there's 0 reason to buy it unless they look hella good.
That's true.
Yeah, they'd have to be
the
like
community would love it.
Okay.
Like, imagine it all like SPR, but from like the Broly set, like that, like the background shadow. Oh my god.
So I personally think Turtles is fine, but there's just people out there, due to the the U3 stuff powering up Boot to the point where just swinging and attacking in. But like, if you're just gonna hit it, I think you should just ban it. I don't like leaving it at 1 causes the same problems that Legendary Food did at 1. Like, you're just like, oh, you drew the 1 of, and like people just get annoyed by that.
Okay. So which other cards should we limit or ban?
We should. I think Surge Q will see some sort of hit, but I don't think the right course is to ban it. I think the best, like, I hate Surge Q with like all of my being, full disclosure. But I don't want it to get I don't want it to get fully banned, because I realize that there are people that enjoy playing the deck. So I think personally the best thing you can do is don't touch the front side, you touch the Awaken side, and you don't even touch it that much. You just turn the Negate skills effect into an Activate main. So that way you can still have the defensive capabilities of the plus 10k, which is huge, and you can still have the offensive capabilities of removing your opponent's effects, which is very important to do against a deck like Invoker or something like that, or in case you need to remove cards from board. It doesn't cuck the deck too hard, and it tones it down just slightly.
I'm gonna be honest, I agree with you on that, but like if they hit Surge Coup, they have to hit Surge Piccolo. Like I don't think they can both coexist. Both being perfect.
I don't know. Surge Piccolo doesn't seem super gas at the moment.
I still think they shouldn't like live like. If one's like gets hit, I think the other should get hit. Like, because I think they're just like very. If one's good, the other's good. If one's not good, the other. Like, I don't know.
So you're in the
I don't know. I
opinion
haven't
of.
really played. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say like so I guess he's in opinion like if one can't exist the other can't exist, and it's interesting because you talked with Surge Piccolo. He played the deck when it was really good. I think the hand destruction variant, and so like I was gonna ask you, do you think it should get touched? I was gonna ask you that.
I would not think so. Hand control doesn't seem particularly strong next set.
Or like the successor version of the deck?
Sure, but I don't think the leader is, like, once again, this is, like, full disclosure, I played the deck. I haven't played it since the release of Draft Box 5, just because when I play a deck, I get bored with it very quickly, so I haven't touched it since then, so I don't have that much knowledge on it. But if you look at the blue leaders, and from what people who have tested Piccolo have talked to me about, Zamasu attacks twice and draws 2 every turn. You can get its hand to 0, but it will refill itself back up. With its options. Trunks ignores crit. Piccolo is hugely reliant on hitting with critical. What's the other leader? Vegito draws pretty well. Yeah, I mean, it just like Surge Coup can still outdraw it fairly easy. Jiren is good. Topo seems alright. Like I don't know, but like I don't think Piccolo at the moment warrants getting touched like Surge Coup does. Because Surge Coup, you can go into a tournament and you pretty much have the best chance of having all good matchups, or at worst 50-50 matchups.
Okay.
So like, would you say
it's just so good. Whereas if you go with Piccolo, you just you come up against Boo, you lose. You might lose against this new variant of Hachiak. Jiren is like ridiculously good now, like insanely good for Draft Box 5. I think it's like the second best deck in the format. I just think Piccolo's fallen a bit from grace, honestly.
That's
what you were saying? What did you ask?
No.
Yeah.
Like would you say like Surge Coup is kind of like pre-Rada Broly then, because like you couldn't really just add anything to it.
I mean, you could say that about Piccolo too.
But the thing is, we always have like a good stuff. We always tend to have like a good stuff leader that's just very powerful because it's like very unrestricted, it's very splashable, has access to the best colors in the game. But like SS3, you could run so many variants.
Broly did too.
Broly, you could run so many variants. Surge Coup, you can run like quite a few variants, but there is like one good variant, so it's not its splashability with other archetypes and stuff. It's just because the leader is so good.
Speaking
like Broly
of
was an insane leader as well.
Well, yes, he was, and I was happy he got eroded. Not gonna lie,
He's still pretty good.
I could see it. I would say, what do you guys think of the chances of the Draw 2 Ape getting hit?
No way.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yes. It's worth $120 right now.
Why? Why would it get hit?
Dude, first off, it's splashable. Like, if it gets hit, I don't want it to get banned. I'd rather that they like restrict it to the color of like it has to be 2 yellow energy than 2 non-color.
Okay, so then you take out all options that other decks have to deal with hand control.
But then again, we had this discussion before.
Or to sink mana into, right? Like, it being splashable isn't that.
But then
no, because I'm just asking that because I've seen people like wonder.
People want the draw 2 ape to get hit because it's so much money and it's so good.
Hey, that's the thing.
Good.
That's the thing is so true. It's like more money on what this card does, more people that want to say, "Yeah, fuck this card, ban it because I can't afford it or whatever, or it is too good or anything." But it's like, yeah, I wouldn't ban it. Maybe I would restrict, maybe semi-limit it, maybe something, but I wouldn't ban it or anything. But people just maybe right now, like, we have to wait for it to reprint, but that's not gonna happen because it's not one of the chosen cards to be reprinted, like the 8 Bardock that's gonna be reprinted in the anniversary box. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just Draft Box 5 and all these other cards are going high in price because of set 9s and then the upcoming set 10s and everything. But that's just like what all value and bios always do because people get too hyped with these cards. And then Bandai likes to make these cards like a little bit ridiculous. And they never know how ridiculous it is until one certain player talks about it or one certain player does it in a major tournament. And then it's a huge game change and then people start maining it and then it becomes a huge mainstream thing. So honestly, the whole ban thing is just kind of, it is kind of meh. I agree with that. Like, but then it's like, then again, like it could be like if it's supposed to be banned, it has to be banned because it's an unfair card that's just being made in most decks that it's just ridiculous to use but not ban, but like limitation. But yeah, the whole point. So.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna run by a couple real quick. Do you guys think the Gohan leader should be banned? There's some people that want
anyone
that.
Anyone that wants the Gohan leader banned, just quit.
Yeah.
I play the deck.
I'm not saying that genuinely. Like,
I know you're not.
If you want the Gohan leader banned, you probably have no right to talk about what's in the ban list. And I don't want to be that dick, but I'm that.
Let's just see how let's see how it goes.
Honest takes here, we want like
you got the monster super combo. You got literally every single negate in the game.
I mean, I play the deck myself. I don't think it needs to get ever like it's like Brawly. Like, if people complain to a point where it just got hit. Like, yeah, I understand Brawly was good and it was really good, but it was this outcry. Like, we need to do something. And I kind of feel like the same way.
It compresses the game into a pace that most players are not comfortable with. The difference between that. Well, I mean, like, because you're getting swung 3 times at 3 times with 3 triple strike attacks. It can get tacked on for critical. Like, I just think a lot of players like stress out when they play against aggro, like from playing Bibbidi, from playing I don't know, whatever other aggro decks I play. You get like, people just freak out when the game is being compressed to a point that they're not comfortable with, so then they play bad. Gohan is a very simple matchup, and it is very easy to make a Gohan player misplay.
Remember to learn that, Thomas, from Geo. Remember that.
Well, I mean, Jiren's not supposed to die on my turn too, right?
No, that's as well. But yeah, like, let's just see how it plays well instead of just crying about it. Let's just see how it goes. If it's that effective to the game, we'll take a think about it. But right now, let's not cry for Gohan just yet. We have yet to see the rest of the cards that it's gonna provide for the game. We already got the 2 colors that's mains for it, but again, let's just wait and see.
Next one
Red will be the aggro deck anyway.
Probably, yeah, Red's always been aggro. Now the only problem will be if Red gets a Senzu Bean.
I was gonna say Bibbidi leader. Some people either want an errata or a ban. I think this is or exaggerated, but I'm gonna ask you guys. What do you guys think?
Bibbidi leader, set 2.
You're thinking of Bobbidi. No. That's Bobbidi.
No,
Bibbidi's the dad.
Oh, Bibbidi.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's saying that Bobbidi.
No, like the black leader.
No, the black set 9, Bibbidi. Bibbidi, Bobbidi, Boo. Yeah, come on, guys.
The leader's fair.
You can't. No, like, the thing is like, it's another one of those things where the leader could be on the chopping block if you want to talk about that deck. But if you hit the leader, you hit your entire black core from set 9, which absolutely hurts your player base. Like, mass. If you have that chain and you don't have a good leader to play it with, what do you?
That's true. There were a lot of people hyped for that.
And that leader was fine. That leader was fine until it was powerful. Yes, it was very strong. But it was fine until you gave it Universe 3 cards and like we just had a culmination of Turles, Gohan, Universe 3, Overrealm cards. Like it just became impressive.
That's a great ability.
But that's the deck. That's the deck, not the leader, right? Because you can play that deck in Mira, can still be relatively good, but nowhere near as good as. You can play it into Migra, which can be very, very powerful. Turn 2, turn 3, so that's good as well. But it's the deck. It's not the leader.
That's a great ability. It's always those cards that always make the leader look like the bad guy, but it's not. And honestly, I don't want to actually hit the Bibbidi. I believe it's a fair card. It's not its fault because of the draft box cards that made the deck even more amazing. I untouched that card, seriously. I leave that card as it is. It was really fun against it when I took it on against Geo to see how the deck resolves. Yeah, I mean, it's a little like, oh, a little crazy. You want to force it right out of your hand so you can keep drawing every turn, but you know. It has its way of style, and I got nothing wrong with it. I say it's a fun leader card, untouched. If anything, I actually would be worried about the deck more, like you said. It's those freaking U3 cards that is like very effective in the turret list, so we have to keep in mind what it is going on.
Gohan's another card that is kind of nuts. I don't know.
Attack team Gohan?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like errata worthy. It's definitely not ban worthy.
Limited.
Like, it's clearly not being used as intended.
I would.
Yeah.
Let's limit that one.
This is the only deck using the card too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because it is a ridiculously good aggressive card in Universe 3 and Black.
Okay, so
like this whole deck came from the notion that you can run Bibbidi with 0 energy for the entire game.
Which is already a powerful concept.
I mean, you don't have to charge turn 1. You never have to charge. You play Overrealm cards. You dump your hand into your combo so you can play U3 cards, and then you remove them with like something like Belmod to play Gohan, and you can just cycle and cycle and cycle and cycle, and you don't have to use any energy for it the entire time. The only reason you have to use energy in Bibbidi is for the IAR, a double strike, extinction, a double strike, or Hatchiyak. But you don't even need to be. The only reason you need to do it with Hatchiyak is so you can get into Anilaza, and you don't even need that. So like at most you need 2 energy in Bibbidi, depending on how you build it. So the deck is just a culmination of things that they weren't intending to work together, working together, which is fun and very cool and neat that it's possible.
Very, very cool.
Right. That was a great type too.
Yeah, agreed.
Is there any other cards you guys think should? I'm just trying to remember all the ones I see on social media or other groups. Like
I've been
Most
hearing
of the
about
times I don't
Dimension
think
Magic. Like at least with my little
Dimension
circle.
Magic. Man, why?
From my little circle, like they're all saying Dimension Magic should get hit, and I guess I can see why with like the Zamasu being like, oh, you can have as many like a billion energy, but like I don't like that. That's an idea. It shouldn't be banned, but I've been hearing about it, so I brought it up.
No.
No, I don't think.
So
No, you need solid control negates, which we don't exactly have. That isn't Dimension Magic. Topo was good, but Topo is good. I reckon Topo will be phased out within the next set or. Sell your Topos now. I don't think it's a good card, man. You have Koitsukai, which cucks it. You have Blue Impulse, which if you play into that, you just completely lose your board.
Focus Breakthrough.
I mean, just like from the new stuff, like they're pushing you out from playing in your opponent's turn, or doing their best to do that. So I think Topo will eventually, or soon, become irrelevant.
Like how the what's it called, like the red Gohan negate did?
Yes. Yeah.
Sun Gohan the Avenger, yeah. Didn't last too long.
I think it lasted like 1, maybe 2 sets.
If that. I'm trying to think. Oh, here's one I just thought of. Interesting enough. Do you think that they would ban or limit any arrival cards?
No. For literally the reasons I just explained.
Okay.
Instead of banning them, trying to rotate them out with mechanics and cards that punish you for playing the game that way.
I can see it.
Okay.
Like I just want to talk about Koi. I just want to talk about Koi Sakai real quick. Like I originally, like you can quote me on it. Like I'll admit, like I thought Koi Sakai was like gonna be an okay card, but I enjoy playing in my opponent's turn, and like there are ways around it, and there are cards that go over top of it. But it's like a silver bullet, and silver bullets are particularly health. I don't like it. So their way of saying we don't want you to play this way anymore is we're gonna print a card that doesn't allow you to play this way. So you still can play rival cards, but then when you built a deck around playing that way, and your opponent just goes, oh, here's a Koitsukai or two, when I'm gonna try and push you out of the game because you haven't used your energy, kind of sucks.
Okay.
All
right. So any last minute things, guys, so that we can end the podcast right now. So
I just have one more question. So I forgot to ask it back when we were talking about Search Food. Do you think they might just ban it to promote Unison?
No, because it is a selling point for a expansion set. If you ban that leader, there's absolutely zero reason to buy that set. Well, there's not zero reason, but you buy it, a new person buys it, they get it, and they're like, oh, this sucks. I can't play the leader I just paid for. So it's unlikely. Like we saw Shenron get hit, so that's very wow.
Super Shenron.
But normal Shenron. No, World Peace got hit, didn't it? Not Shenron.
Yeah.
The deck died because of the cards that got hit. So.
Yeah, that was my fault.
And Purunga got it rotted.
It's 3:30 here, so. It's 3:30 here. We don't need to like go over it.
And same thing with the other dragon. I can't remember the name. Big boy.
It's fine.
The Super Shenron, yes.
Yeah, like they didn't hit the Shenron leader, which is like one of the main selling points of the deck. So I don't think. I think they will do their best not to ban it. I think they will do their best to stay away from touching it, but I don't think it's one of those things where they have a huge option. It's just such a good leader. They might feel it gets phased out next set depending on how the format plays out and how they're playtesting and how things have played out for them. But it's one of those things that's difficult to hit from a developer standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that everything, guys?
No.
Guess we're
fine now.
Okay.
I mean, if anyone's listening and managed to make it to the end, congratulations, you're a madman.
Yeah, because
we listened to three guys just ramble about a card game for about how long? Like an hour and a half?
Two hours.
This is like 2.5.
Yeah.
This is like 2.5.
Yeah.
No, it's actually 2 hours.
Yeah, I know what you mean, guys. Man, that was like really exhausting. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, guys, you made it to the end of this video. I want to say thank you very much for watching our first ever podcast. This idea actually would be given to by Gio because he wanted me to do this podcast at least about a week ago. It was a lot of it, and I'll tell you what, though, we had to make it up because of our last podcast was a fail due to a situation with our audio. So this time we actually did everything, and I want to go ahead and say thank you very much to Sandy Cater from Stage Zero for taking this opportunity to actually join our podcast. He's not really easy to get, but I'll tell you one thing, it's very appreciative for him and to hear his opinions here in this podcast. So again, thank you very much, Sandy, and maybe we might see you again whenever you have a chance. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We are going to be doing this thing. You'll be expecting the next episode next week when we're going to be talking about the black set. So in the meantime, guys, enjoy this videos. Give this a like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time, as this is Fortress Striker, signing off.